Hey, it's Auntie Dana. We just had Canada Day a few days ago, and then I came across this very Canadian book. And why is it so very Canadian? Because look at the animals, a beaver, a moose, and a bear. And it's called Up the Creek. Have you ever heard someone say up the creek without a paddle? And that means you're starting ahead of time before you have everything ready, like a recipe, right? Say you're starting to make pancakes, you put the milk and the eggs, and oh, I don't have flour. I'm up the creek without a paddle because I can't finish it off. All right, and this is a very Canadian book because Nicholas Oldhand is Canadian. And this was also published in Canada by Kids Can Press. Let's see what these animals are up to. There once was a bear, a moose, and a beaver who were the best of friends, though they often disagreed. You can see they're sitting there thinking, what should we do? Look in the corner. One sunny day, the bear, the moose, and the beaver decided to go canoeing. Oh, nice big red canoe. The moose wanted to steer, but so did the bear and the beaver. They all sat in the stern. So look at this. What happens when they all want to do the same job? They're not going to get anywhere, are they? Yep, exactly. With so much weight in the back of the canoe, it tipped and they ended up in the water. Well, of course. Yeah, so they played eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and it was decided that the moose would steer. They all settled back into the canoe and began to paddle. Oh, what's this? The bear insisted on paddling port side, but the beaver and the moose also preferred the left. With everyone paddling on the same side, they just traveled in circles. Oh my goodness. Have you ever been in a canoe or a boat with a paddle? Yeah, there is a method to it. Soon their arms grew tired, so they began to switch sides. That's when they finally started to travel in a straight line. But just as they began to make progress, they came to a stop at a beaver dam. Oh, look at that. They were paddling. They went right upon it. They all had different ideas as to how to get across. The beaver wanted to push the canoe, but that didn't work. The moose thought they should pull the canoe. That didn't work either. Fortunately, the bear figured it out. The only way across was to portage, which must mean up above. Yep, they're carrying it on their heads. Oh, look at the beaver's short. He just has to hang on. He's not really helping, so that's funny. Back in the water, the bear, the moose, and the beaver settled into a rhythm and started to really enjoy paddling along the river. Yep, on both sides, taking turns. Have you done that? Can you show me? Paddle this way, paddle this side. Yeah, you're going to have an oar, and that's what you're going to do down the side of the boat or canoe. Okay. But it wasn't long before they began to argue. They argued so loudly that they didn't notice the current growing stronger or the quiet rumbling in the distance. Oh dear, what do you think it could be? The moose says, "Stop splashing!" And the bear says, "Keep paddling." And the beaver says, "I'm hungry." And he's trying to take a bite out of the oar. Oh my goodness. But they're still best friends. Oh, so they weren't paying attention until it was too late. The river had turned into wild white water rapids. Oh dear, this looks like a waterfall even. So now they're going, ah. Oh no, they look scared all right. Thrown sideways, underwater, and through the air and everywhere. The bear, the moose, and the beaver held on for their lives. You can see them there, and it's bouncing along, hanging on. Oh, at one point, they look at this. That's funny. Like they ended up just surfing it. Oh my goodness. Exhausted, bruised, and wet, the three friends landed on a rock in the middle of the rapids. Oh yeah, they're exhausted for sure. Like, we made it. Right? When you're extra tired from such hard work. The moose wanted to burn the canoe to make a signal fire. So it looks like they were stuck there on that rock. The bear wanted to throw the beaver to shore to run and get help. Oh. The beaver figured swimming to shore would be safer. Then they argued over whose plan was best, well into the night. The next morning, it dawned on the bear, the moose, and the beaver that they would have to work together to make it home safely. Oh, this is a great picture. See, they're holding hands and they say, "We can do it." So they climbed back into their battered canoe, took a deep breath, and ran the rapids. Yeah, but that time they're all paying attention and working together. They twisted, leaped, crashed, and blasted through the water. The rapids were fierce, but the bear's powerful strokes, the moose's steady hoof, and the beaver's clever commands, they set a true, clear course. Oh, let's watch them. Yep, they're going. What's going to happen now? At last, the moose and the bear and the beaver made it to shore. And here they are again going, "Oh, thank goodness, we're so exhausted." Time to rest. After a much needed nap, the bear, the moose, and the beaver worked together to repair their canoe and paddles. Oh, they've got some tools there. Catch some fish, because there's a river right there after all. And cook lunch. Before they tucked into their meal, they all gave thanks for the wildest adventure they ever had. No kidding. Wild rocking rapids. Rested and relaxed, the bear, the moose, and the beaver were ready to set out for home. After taking a long look at the raging rapids, they decided to walk. And who could disagree with that? Yep, they're gonna walk. Oh my goodness. What I have here, a little Canadian moose friend. And I'm going to talk to him a little bit about something called cooperation. So what happened in that story is that the animals didn't cooperate, did they? So when they all had their own ideas and they weren't listening to each other, then chaos happened, right? The boat wouldn't go and ended up in those really hard water rapids. So what do you think, Moose? Do you think it's better if you take turns listening to each other's ideas and then you take a little bit from each idea, and usually that's the thing to do, Yeah, he agrees. Good. Thanks for coming to the story, and I'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.